So when we left off, we were about to have a video which we sent you to shown. Sorry. Might it be shown, please?
You wasted an entire day with people calling in sick. You wasted an entire day with people calling in sick, people being rushed to hospital, third person sick. Like let this process continue until it finishes.
Which is what you said would happen.
Right.
Let's catch a bottle.
Like, why do you think this is
Listen clearly to me. I've been hearing all of you.
No, let's listen.
Because I really don't understand with it. I made a promise to you telling me no, but the competency is of the agency.
But we're all here. We're your people to get the process.
Right. So,
Forward. What?
Sue. If they're not here, what do you want me to do?
No, there is one here.
There is a
Who is authorized in law to
The law
conduct the
says that
exercise.
a returning officer is a deputy returning officer.
Make it worse 2 hours. I'm very certain they got carried with some signings that could get somebody here there faster. This is disrespecting people's time.
But there is one here, sir.
There's a DRO right here. There's a DRO right here. And the law says any deputy returning officer can do this job.
Is this the person we were supposed to wait for?
He doesn't have to make any declarations. We just have to verify the results.
Why can't continue?
Exactly. Now we're starting to think that there's something wrong.
Sinister.
And in all fairness, I'm certain that if you were on the other side, you're saying you don't understand. No, you don't understand either. The thing about it is that you're the person supposed to be making sure that we understand what is going on.
Can we make a decision to restart the DRO is present here and now, just behind me?
Notwithstanding my remarks, that when I left, I spoke with Mr. Danlahat and the agent for the party. We called the gentleman who said he would have been here. I had called him initially while I was here. When he said he didn't know it was I who was called, I called him before I left to change my mind. He said he would have been here.
So what are you saying? If he doesn't turn up, we don't proceed? Is that what we're saying?
Okay, so he is not here, but we have another DRO who, in accordance with the law, can continue the process. So can we please continue the process with
Exactly.
the DRO who is here? That's all we're asking, sir.
We're here.
That just everybody, there's just one simple request on the floor here. There's a need for a DRO. A DRO is here. In accordance with the law, you're asking for that DRO to restart the process. That's all. Simple. Thank you, sir.
Right. It's not so simple for me. I am dealing with East Bank. I am making efforts to bring closure to the East Bank corridor as it relates to the process.
So
And it's for that,
how the use
and
of
it was
this DRO
that.
prevents that? How the use of this DRO, how the use of this DRO prevents you from making progress on these files?
Excuse me. It's quite confusing.
How is it that
It's a DRO of the district.
DRO is here?
Work under the
How is it How is DRO, sir, in the greatest respect, preventing you from moving forward?
When I was spoken to you, told me you wanted to deal with this process when I brought up other issues. So why aren't we focusing on this issue? Because this is the important issue. We are more concerned about this issue and this process being completed.
And a DRO, again I emphasize, a DRO of the district.
That is established. The problem is we have the DRO here. Why are we starting? Why?
Mr. Lowenfield is not making any sense at all.
Mr. Lowenfield has a rule of convenience apparently.
No.
The gentleman said I really am not making any sense.
I just think that we talk.
I agree with you.
I'm not worrying about any gentleman here.
I agree.
I'm Mr. Lowenfield.
I am not making any sense.
Mr. Lowenfield, I am asking you, as the presidential candidate for the PDP, as everyone around here, as why the process cannot restart. We have a DRO here. The DRO is ready to proceed with the process. What is the hindrance from this DRO proceeding with the process of this one? You said earlier that you wanted this process to continue all night until it's completed. We have the DRO in position now. What is the holdback now? What is the holdback?
I'm saying to you that as CEO, it is my desire to utilize a DRO from 4 belonging to these banks.
But we're we have lots of desires.
There are many places and things that I would like to do in life.
And the DRO is here. We can desire anything, but the law provides what are the frame of our desire. You can't go out of the law to your personal desire. If you go out of the law to your personal desire, it's exercising bias.
So with that point, that you need DRO for bank. Let's use this RO for East Coast.
No, that is not the point.
No.
Mr. Lowenfield is saying he wants to continue with the East Bank. I have no objection to that. You have a DRO here, let's continue. If you want, if you want, the DRO from the East Coast can we move from Georgetown to the East Bank.
Without completing Georgetown.
We didn't complete Georgetown.
Without completion, that's the point.
We have to complete District 4. We have to. We are committed to this process. We are committed to this process.
Is 1 hour
As long as
supposed to do it?
we are not leaving the building.
It doesn't have to be specific.
So, sir, the position here is that we have a DRO in place, that the law provides for it to continue this process. It's not based on desire. It's not based on
You have
self-interest.
a DRO that you set for.
That what?
A DRO that we set for, you have a
This
DRO,
is
sir. You have a DRO, everybody has a list. With all the DROs. You have a DRO.
Is the following is a GCOM staff? That is a GCOM staff?
Mr. CEO, could I raise?
Don't do that to me. You know the other guy I called, who is he? What you really doing to me, man?
Don't worry
Mr.
about
CEO, could I just raise a point?
Listen.
That if the young ladies had stayed on, they would have done East Coast and East Bank, and they weren't specific to a region.
Can I please stick to the question? We have a DRO in place, please. The only issue here is that we have a DRO, we need a DRO is in place, there is no humbug, let us continue the process. It is not based on desire, it is based on the law, and that is what we are asking.
Just do your job.
Yeah, let's do it, just do your job in accordance with the law,
Just do your
and
job.
let us have the DRO in place and continue this process.
Yeah, Mr. Lowenfield, just do your job. Let's get these
That is what I
results.
came here to do, you know.
Well, let's go.
Let's proceed.
Listen to me, man.
Let's
When
proceed.
you're telling me, take Tom, David, Jane, you go because they're there. You're not allowing him.
That's what the law says.
Capable to, you employ Tom, David, and if the
Qualified and empowered by the law.
They're employed by GCOM. I don't see what's the resistance.
appointed by the rule.
They deliver the law.
What's the resistance about?
I asked when I left here.
No, let's get this right. You asked when you left here, you spoke to a guy from East Bank, and you said the guy from East Coast should come also. That was the final understanding that you left the district.
Listen to me, context. I said the East Coast, by in the morning, I said to both of you, we should be in the East Coast and we will pledge this service. That's my point.
So can we not?
There's one question here.
And we use this.
It's not can. The law provides Mr. Commissioner for us to use any DRO.
I'm asking what is the impediment you see to using this person who's here now, Mr. CEO? What is the impediment?
There's none.
I'm waiting for an answer. Don't take long.
No,
You're leaving without taking a vote.
What's this?
This need to go up. This is high handed.
Just so that we're clear.
Democracy is a trend.
Yes.
Ms. Cho, you have to accept that the quality of the sound is horrible.
Yes.
It's extremely difficult. Only snippets were clearly audible. And for myself, I'm at a disadvantage.
Yes, well, I don't think that that part of the video permits us to hear the conversation. The dialogue upon which we rely is to be found in the first part of the video. We can't do better than that with respect. All we can get is the visual. So we see that he walked off and he appeared to be speaking to two people. And
No, I'm not. At that point and before, it was the audio was very poor. I couldn't hear clearly.
Yes. Well, as I indicated,
Is that the best equipment that they have?
I am not responsible for the
No.
regretfully.
I'm not saying that you are. They should tell you whether this is equipment that they retrieved from some World War II cabinet or whether it's new equipment.
I will inquire, but rest assured, Commissioner.
Because if we are going to have to look at other video pieces,
Yes.
and that will be the quality of the sound, it becomes a useless exercise. I
Yes.
was straining to hear what was happening.
Yes, what I promised is that we will also be providing you, the commissioners, with transcripts of the proceedings.
Okay, that would be helpful.
Mr. Jaisingh, I have some questions just to finish off. Now, that video was on the night of the 4th of March 2020, correct?
Correct.
That's when you went to Ashman's building.
Yes.
And they were talking about, in the video, they were talking about a DRO in the foyer. You heard that?
Yeah.
And you told us when you went to Ashman's, you first sat in the foyer on the ground floor.
Yes.
Can you tell us whether you were the DRO being discussed?
Yes, I was the DRO. I was in the background.
Okay. Was there any other DRO there at the time?
No.
When you told us earlier that Mr. Livan had taken the laptop you had been using and had gone to another room and then come back into the tabulation room with a laptop, can you tell us whether he gave any indication that this was not the laptop which he had taken from you?
No, he didn't say.
I'm asking that the video be admitted and marked as PJ56, and it will be placed on CE1, which contains all the audio-visual material. These are my questions for this witness.
No, sorry. Mr. Jaisingh, you told us that you were involved in the 2020 elections.
Yes.
And that you worked in previous elections at the national level.
Yes.
Would you say that you were fairly familiar with voting procedures? That is, a voter arrives, what happens from the time the voter enters the polling station to the time the voter exits. You are familiar with that process?
Yes.
So, for my own benefit at least, and I'm sure it will be useful to my brethren, can you take us through step by step? I don't want a lengthy explanation. What's the first step when the voter comes in?
Okay, they will go to an individual called an information clerk. The information clerk will check and ensure that they're entitled to vote here. They will check for their name.
So the voter first goes to an information clerk.
Yes, and the clerk will direct them to which polling station to go.
Don't rush it. The voter goes to an information clerk.
Yes.
You told us that the information clerk checks the eligibility of the person to vote.
Not the eligible. Check the list to ensure that they're on listed there to vote.
So the clerk just checks for a name.
Yes, the ID number and name.
So how would the clerk know the person's ID number?
They will normally walk with it. There's a
The
list.
clerk walks with the number?
There's a list, the OLE. They will check a list and then direct them to which polling station to vote.
Yes, I see. When the voter goes to the identification clerk, the voter simply says, I am Paul Jaisingh.
They produce the ID card.
They have to produce an ID card.
Yes.
There's a process, and I'd like you to be as detailed as possible.
Okay, detailed as
Good.
Noted.
The voter goes to the voter identification clerk and says, I am Paul Jaisingh, and produces an identification card.
Correct.
What does the clerk do then?
The clerk will check the list, ensure that the person is listed there, and direct them to which polling station to go to vote.
Which polling station to go to vote?
Yes.
So from the clerk, the person goes to vote.
The polling station.
Are they in the polling station?
No, they're not in the polling station.
Where are they?
They might be at the gate or close to the polling place. They're information clerk.
Let's leave that part out. I just said to you, the voter enters the polling station.
Okay, we're skipping a part here. Okay.
Yes, leave that out.
Okay, no
When the
problem.
voter enters, what happens?
They go to a poll clerk.
They go to a poll clerk.
Yes.
And do what?
They produce their identification card.
So if we go back to what you earlier said, this will be the second time the voter is producing an ID card.
Yes.
Good.
They produce
First to a voter identification clerk, when they get into the polling station, they produce the ID card now to a polling clerk.
Yes.
Yes.
The poll
Having
clerk.
produced the ID card, what next?
The poll clerk will check for the particulars, announce it loudly for everyone there to hear, like their name, their occupation, their address.
Where does the polling clerk get this information from?
The poll clerk will also have a copy of the official list of
Well, can you tell us, please?
electors, yes.
Yes, so the polling clerk, having seen the identification details of the voter, then calls out details from the official list of electors.
Right.
Yes, then?
And then the poll clerk will direct the voter either to the presiding officer, if there's a special case, if it's an ordinary voter, to the assistant presiding officer.
Who's an extraordinary voter?
Those are voters that who vote by way of proxy.
Those are special voters?
Yes. Like if they're voting for someone else. So they'll be issued 2 ballot paper instead of 1.
So after the polling clerk, the voter is directed either to the presiding officer or
the assistant presiding officer.
Or an assistant presiding officer.
Yes.
What happens then?
They will also request the identification card.
You have to show the identification card.
They will check it.
That's the voter's ID card for the
Yes.
3rd time.
Yes.
Yes.
Then they will check the voter's fingers for electoral ink, and they proceed to issue the ballot paper.
What would the presence of electoral ink on the finger indicate?
It can indicate that you voted already.
So the the fingers are checked. Once they are without any evidence of electoral ink, they are then given
ballot paper.
Ballot paper.
A stamp ballot paper.
Yes.
They will write the serial number at the top, serial number at the bottom, fold it, and there's a 6-digit stamp. They will stamp at the top and stamp at the bottom, and issue the ballot paper to the voter. And if they don't know how to vote, there's a specimen, you can show them how to vote. If they know to vote, you direct them to the voting compartment.
So they go there and they vote.
They vote.
And then what?
They go to the, I think I skipped a step. No. I think I skipped a step.
Well, I don't know the process. You tell us.
No, we're going correct. They
Thank you.
When they finish voting, they go to the ballot clerk. Now the ballot clerk will allow them to enter the ballot paper into the ballot box. But before they do so, they have to immerse their right index finger in electoral ink. So they do it simultaneously. The right finger goes in, and the ballot paper goes in the ballot box. And then the ballot clerk directs them how to leave the polling station. Exit the station.
Now, I want to take you back to the video we just looked at. You said when the representations were made that there is a DRO from the East Coast, you were that person they were speaking about.
Yes.
I gather from that video that seeming political party representatives were urging the person in the purple shirt, shaven head, or bald, one or two. I know more of the latter. Who would that person have been?
I think that is one of the parties. I'm not sure which party.
The man in the purple polo shirt was one.
Yeah, I think so. I'm not sure if he's a
Can we
party.
play the video again, please?
He's a party agent or.
You wasted an entire day with people calling in sick.
Color purple, don't you?
Yeah.
That's the CEO.
Yeah.
You know his name?
Mr. Keith Lowenfield.
Mr. Keith Lowenfield. So I gather from the video images that we've been seeing and the limited audio that party representatives were saying to him, let's continue the tabulation process.
Correct.
And let's use a DRO. That was because the RO was not present?
The RO was not present, nor the staff that took over from him. I think two female staff was performing the task already, and they went away because they were tired.
They went away, that's all you can say?
Yeah.
Yes.
Because I came after the fact.
So the party representatives were saying, let's continue the process, please, using a DRO who is present.
Yes.
Did it appear to you that Mr. Lowenfield was reluctant to do that?
Yeah, yes, he was very reluctant.
Did you hear a reason?
No special reason.
Well, tell me, did you hear an unspecial reason?
I don't know what's the reason why he...
You didn't hear him give any reason? But you were there?
Yeah.
But I'm sure I heard him say, I want to complete the East Bank. Did you hear that?
Yes, I heard.
Was that the reason?
Yeah, that was the reason. You want to complete East Bank, yes.
And? Did you hear someone say a DRO is a DRO for the district?
Yes.
That means East Bank, Le Penitence, Cummings Lodge. A DRO for District 4 can perform the functions wherever you want.
Correct.
Did he accede to that request?
Eventually, we had a meeting and I was asked to continue the verification, yes.
You were asked to continue the verification?
Yes.
And did you complete District 4?
No.
What happened?
That's when Mr. Livan complained of being tired, and that's when the process abruptly ended.
You were asked to assist with the process?
Yeah, assist with the process. Myself and Mr. Livan.
You need to be careful with language.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, sir. You've been very helpful.